Welcome to Fox College Football, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. We invite you inside Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, where the Sooners don't lose a whole lot, 11 times since 1999. But the team that's here tonight has been a roadblock, way too much for Sooner fans. 2019, top 5 Oklahoma. Sooners had to score 18 to get within 7, and they still lost. Then 2020, the opener, after a loss to Arkansas State. Kansas State had enough to beat Oklahoma 38-35. Then last year, it took a late rally for Kansas State to close within 6. They could not win the third straight time, and here come the Sooners, who want to win badly tonight. Thanks for joining us in this raucous crowd. Jason Benetti, Brock Ewart, Allison Williams down on the sideline. Brent Venables has Oklahoma unbeaten right now, and man, that defense is rolling.
Boy, we were here a month ago for the opener, right? We could feel Coach Venables' intensity then. You could tell he was ready to run out of that tunnel like they did tonight 4 weeks ago. He wanted to stamp intensity. He wanted to stamp a level of relentlessness and effort. And my goodness gracious, through 3 weeks, he has certainly made that statement to the college football world, and none bigger than a week ago up in Lincoln, where they just thrashed the Cornhuskers.
127-30, their margin so far this year, and the opposition is Kansas State and Adrian Martinez, the transfer quarterback, who they want to be more aggressive.
Yeah, not many times do you hear a head coach, especially one that's defensive and conservative in nature, Chris Kleiman, tell the public that our quarterback, he's got to cut it loose. That we need more from Adrian Martinez. You could see the numbers a season ago when he was at Nebraska against these Sooners. Played one of his best games of his career. They will need the same tonight with his arm and just as much with his legs.
We'll take it a break with our Progressive Insurance game countdown as the Kansas State Wildcats are set to take on the 6th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Kickoff is coming up next. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Brent Venables' connections to Kansas State continue to this day. Allison Williams.
And Brent Venables grew up in Kansas. He got his start as a linebacker and a coach with K-State under legendary head coach Bill Snyder. He reached out to Snyder prior to last week's game, and after the win, Bill Snyder texted him congratulations, and he followed it up with go get number 4, but that would be today against these Wildcats. So Snyder was quick to respond, just not against us. Yes, the 82-year-old does text, but he also still communicates the old-fashioned way. He sent Venables a handwritten note of congratulations this week as well. And now Venables, as the head coach here, hopes to bring that same discipline and toughness he learned at K-State to Oklahoma.
We will see how that goes between his alma mater and his own team today. And Deuce Vaughn with the first carry. And it'll set up 2nd down and 5. So what does it look like being more aggressive for the former Nebraska Cornhusker Adrian Martinez?
It means when there's an opportunity to push the ball down the field, he's got to do it. Been very protective of the football. That's a positive, but he's got to make plays too.
Opening throw, a little bit behind Phillip Brooks, and 3rd down and 5 for Kansas State, which struggled on 3rd down last week. And here is the starting lineup for the Wildcats. Cooper Beebe has been all over that offensive line in his history. That's the 5 who will protect Adrian Martinez. We told you about Deuce Vaughn and how good he is. Malik Knowles, a big play wide receiver, and important in the kickoff return game as well. He's down at the very bottom of your screen, and it's Martinez on a quarterback run, and he does get behind Beebe for a 1st down. Here is the Oklahoma defense, which has given up just 30 points all year. Reggie Grimes is a sack machine. He's got 4 of them already this year. Deshaun White at the cheetah position, roaming free in that 2nd level, a dangerous player as well, and Billy Bowman, whose confidence has skyrocketed this year. Martinez to throw once again, right down the middle. Ben Sinnott, his tight end, into Oklahoma territory.
Well, you just asked me, what does it look like to be more aggressive? This is exactly it. These were the throws the first 3 weeks you did not see down the field, 10+ yards. Put it on the money. Trust the guys up front to protect you. And then when the opportunity is there, like his head coach, Chris Kleiman, said, pull the trigger.
Third down run was key for Martinez. Now here is Deuce Vaughn, who is taken down behind the line by Jeffrey Johnson, the Tulane transfer.
Tackle for loss.
It's number 33 on the year for Oklahoma in the tackle for loss department.
And it's 19 different Sooners. Looks like it's 2nd and 10, but it's right there at or behind the line of scrimmage. And they all do it at all 3 levels. Number 1 in America, tackles for loss. Number 1 in America, tackles for loss yardage as well.
Warner in motion. This is Vaughn, and there's another tackle for loss. Ethan Downs, the defensive end, for a loss of 2.
You know, this is not as pronounced pre-snap or post-snap movement as a season ago with Alex Grinch. But you're going to watch these defensive linemen. Part of the reason they're getting behind the line is it's that quick move after the snap. What you're seeing pre-snap is not what you're getting post-snap, and especially in this down and distance right here.
That's a deep unit that set up a 3rd and 12. Martinez feels the heat, gets out of the pocket, turns up field, and Martinez is hit at the 30 and keeps going forward. Let's see where the spot is. He is very close to the line to gain. Aguebu had him in pursuit, couldn't finish him.
This is exactly what they wanted from Adrian Martinez. Not only to throw it down the field when it's there, but when it's not, instead of taking a check down, right? Instead of playing conservative, go. Put your body out there. A tremendous athlete that Coach Kleiman's seen it do it in practice, and now he's doing it on the opening drive.
I'm very happy with his practice reps and hoping to see this type of aggressiveness as he throws on the go. He's got Sinnott again, and Kansas State rapping on the door of the red zone.
And I think if you were Brent Venables and Ted Roof on the other side, you're sitting here going, who's number 9? Because we watched that tape, right? Over 11,000 total yards. Brent Venables knows it up at Nebraska for Adrian Martinez. Just not been that guy through the first 3 weeks. What an encouraging sign for the Wildcats tonight.
Safety blitz coming, and that is White from the cheetah position from the 3rd level to set up 3rd down.
And this is how you have to tackle Deuce Vaughn. He is so shifty. You're going to see him right here. Here comes that cheetah on the prowl, and he attacks that hip. That's been the focus this week. Don't take that guy head on. You've got to leverage him from the side and bring him down.
Kansas State was 2 of 15 on 3rd down last week. They're 2 for 2 on the opening drive. It's Martinez to throw. That is behind the line to gain for Warner, who is wrapped up by Davis. Now let's see where that spot is. They're going to spot him for a 1st down. Man, that is a generous spot.
Yeah, this is a wonderful job by Warner to come back. You'd expect it, right? His dad, the Hall of Famer, come back to the football. But that's a more than generous spot right there.
Under further review.
He's got him short, right? We do have Dean Blandino with us tonight. Mike Pereira was there for Washington State and Oregon. Our referee, Kevin Marr, with the call. Dean, what are you seeing?
Yeah, this is a good stop by replay. The forward progress spot after the receiver gains control. When does the defender initiate contact? That's the spot. Line of gain was the 17. Looks like the spot should be a yard back, the 18. A good replay here. It's not where he catches it. It's when he's first contacted. That's that progress spot.
Fantastic, Dean. Thank you very much.
And you can get frustrated with receivers at times for running short of the sticks. He's 3 yards past the sticks. The reason he catches that short is because Adrian hesitated. He actually looked to the right. If you watch that from the beginning, he's looking to his right, he's looking to his right. He comes back to Warner. If he throws that early, he gives Cade an opportunity to move the chains instead. This will be the first big decision of this game.
So if this is short, if it is 4th and 1, and we know Kansas State is very willing to go for it on 4th down, what do you like here?
Gosh, I like points. To be honest with you, I mean, that's just my conservative nature. But as Coach Kleiman said, they, like so many in college football, follow the analytics book.
All right, so here's the call from Kevin Marr.
Down and distance, time, left hash, all those old
After
details.
further review, the catch was stopped short of the line of game. It'll be fourth down on the 18-yard line.
Great call, Dean. Thank you very much. And well done by the replay officials. Look, Chris Kleiman said we did everything right according to the analytics folks, but we didn't execute.
Yeah, they sent us a note and said, congratulations, all your decisions, we love them. Star plus, but your execution in those short yardage situations, unfortunately, a mess.
Well, they seem to like 7 more than 3, but 0 is an option as well.
And I get it. When you're playing in this building, you got to score touchdowns.
Vaughn split out. Martinez will run. He's got it and then some inside the 15 with a marker coming in late. In fact, 2 flags have been thrown.
Well, if you're going to run it, the +1 they call it, when you get the QB run game, that is just straight QB power. That is Colin Klein calling what he ran so often.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 2. Half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
Yeah, Colin Klein said there are still some plays in the playbook, as that's on Aguebu, that Colin ran 10 years ago in his near Heisman season.
That one right there. And Bill Snyder, if you're watching it, you know that exact play call. And not a surprise on this opening drive to get Martinez comfortable. Get him some hits. Take that conservatism right out of him with contact.
Kansas State has been attacking. Here he is again. It's a touchdown for Martinez. What a response to last week by Adrian Martinez.
And if you're going to run QB run game and you're going to run power, then you need these big fellas to block down, and a terrific job, as you're going to see Ben Sinnott wrap around right there for the unblocked defender in the alley. Lots of those Sooners' eyes focused on Deuce Vaughn. And what an advantage. 4 times, 4 huge plays with his legs. That's paying off what his coach has asked of him this week, to be more aggressive.
2 weeks in a row now, Oklahoma's allowed an opening touchdown from the opposition. Nebraska last week only got 1 more score. We'll see if Kansas State does it again against the Sooners. Martinez is in first. Fox College Football, sponsored by Modelo, brewed for full-time fans with a fighting spirit, and by Discover. 10 years ago, Colin Klein scored a rushing touchdown in the 4th quarter against Oklahoma. The play call was QB25 F Rumble O. And that was a pretty similar deal right there.
Yeah, I think you just flipped it to the even side, whether that's 24 or 26. And first-time play caller. And unlike a lot of these situations, one you're going to see here momentarily with Dylan Gabriel and Jeff Lebby, those two, Colin Klein, Adrian Martinez, had some catching up to do. Missed all of spring. It was really just training camp, so still figuring one another out, and that was one of their best offensive drives of the entire season.
Ty Zentner on the approach. Billy Bowman back to return, and Oklahoma will have it from the 25-yard line behind Dylan Gabriel from Mililani, Hawaii, as so many quarterbacks have been. 61% or so at UCF, and he protects the football as well as just about anybody. Jeff Lebby is offensive coordinator in both places, here and there, loves that about him. 7 touchdowns, no picks, facing a secondary that has 7 interceptions this year.
Some of the best touch in college football and ball handling as well. He is a magician in their run-pass option game.
Eric Gray, the tailback, gets drilled by Eli Huggins, the nose tackle for Kansas State. And here is the offensive line. Chris Murray, who Lebby calls an animal at the right guard spot, one of the anchors of the offensive line. Marvin Mims Jr. has been a deep threat his entire time here at Oklahoma. And this opening pass goes to Gray out of the backfield for a Sooner first down against this 3 down front for Kansas State. We've called Huggins, and Udike Uzama has been fantastic rushing the quarterback. Then the linebacker spot, Khalid Duke, they might put him in a couple of tough scenarios tonight as Gray on the catch out of the backfield gets to the 40, and Josh Hayes, who's highlighted, made the stop along with a couple others. He's going to be key in that secondary as well, one and white.
The D-line is the strength. The second level is the most vulnerable, and you see Oklahoma attacking it early.
Gabriel flowing to the left, and that's dropped by Jalil Farouk. So it's third down for the Sooners. What a scene this is in Norman. Big 12 opener. And Kansas State has been a major landmine for them. It's Mims in motion on 3rd and 6. Gabriel, and that was tipped. Incomplete. He wanted Mims. Tipped ball at the line by Kansas State and Anyudike Uzama, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, not only does he get home quite often, look at Felix battle through 2 guys here. He knows he's not going to get the sack, something he's been so good at over the last 2 seasons, but the awareness to put that big paw up in the air. Dylan's not the biggest guy, just about 5'10", 5'11". Get your hands up. Those are the little details. Kansas State, why have they been so difficult for the Sooners? Details like that.
Brent Venables mentioned to Allison pregame about the special teams for Kansas State and how dangerous they can be. But Oklahoma has its own weapon to avoid that with Michael Turk as that goes through the end zone, and Kansas State will have it from the 20-yard line. For the first time in 9 games last week, Deuce Vaughn was kept under 100 yards. First time in 10 he didn't get into the end zone. He's got the ball for the visiting Wildcats when we come back. Let's take a look at our Ram Power Player, brought to you by Ram Trucks. Built to serve. It's the junior out of Round Rock, Texas, Deuce Vaughn.
And I don't know how many players we'll have this year that are 5'8", that we highlight in this capacity. But Deuce gets everything out of his ability. He catches it, he runs it, he blocks it as he did on that opening drive. Just a stud.
Deuce Vaughn on this carry. He was so frustrated last week because of the cramps that he had, Deuce Vaughn. He had to come out in portions of the 3rd and 4th quarter. Didn't get to 100 yards.
Well, if you just get a body on a body, and that's what we're seeing on this opening drive, that first down run, this group up front last week, they couldn't do that against Tulane. All of the movement last week really got to them. Right now, they are winning at the point of attack.
Brooks in motion. Take the jet sweep action. It's a low throw, and it's plucked above the ground by Deuce Vaughn for a Kansas State first down.
Boy, and that one is all toughness from number 9. He's looking at nothing but 31 in his face. Does Deuce go down and dig this one out? I think he does. That ball moves. It looks like he regathers it. He's underneath it. I think that's a catch.
I don't think it ever even hit the ground. If Martinez throws again, and he's right on the money. Sinnott has been really important so far, and he's dragging basically half of the Oklahoma defense into Sooner territory.
Wow. Wow. This is not what we have seen in the month of September from either of these teams, but welcome to Big 12 familiarity.
Isn't it amazing what a rivalry like this can do for the team that's on hard times coming in? It is Vaughn, and Deuce Vaughn pinballing for a first down into Broyles.
I mean, he runs right through. Look at this little guy. Look at the explosive and the powerful legs there to run right through Danny Stutzman. The guy's not missed a tackle this September, and he runs right through the inside linebacker.
Tough, strong, low to the ground runner. First down, Martinez. Takes Brooks to the 10, and Brooks wanders out of bounds. First and goal for Kansas State, and this car is humming right now.
Holy smokes, this stadium is stunned right now because you've not seen any of this. You'll see Brooks right on the little shallow cross, a little rub concept with the running back there, Deuce Vaughn. He had either of them wide open, and once again, give some credit to the 5 guys up front on this drive. And actually the opening drive as well. It is that offensive line that is setting the table for both its quarterback to play its best football yet in Adrian Martinez, and Deuce Vaughn getting going too.
This has been the worst scoring offense in the Big 12, 3 weeks deep, but Kansas State threatening again, and now we have a timeout coming.
Great wind sprint from Chris Kleiman, too.
Kansas State calls their first timeout of the half. Media timeout.
Chris Kleiman feeling it. Chris Kleiman, former defensive back, great closing speed, Brock.
Check this out. I mean, run, Rich, run. Right here. Here's Coach Kleiman on the 30. Look at this. He's got to get a timeout. I got to get a timeout. I got to go. I got to go. I got to turn on the Jets. I'm saying 5-3, 5-40. I mean, maybe, look at, he gets right in the field of vision of that official. You got to do that.
And he ran right through it, too.
You don't stop.
Yeah.
You cannot stop.
9 first downs for Kansas State. Oklahoma's run 5 plays so far, total. Adrian Martinez picking his way. Almost looked like he wanted a pop pass. Instead, it's 2nd down and goal.
It's your same design QB run. Charlie Klein did not hesitate when we chatted with him this week. Can have a little more QB run called? Yes. Yeah. There's going to be no question about it. That's how we got to get this group going, because it plays to the strengths of Adrian Martinez.
Second and goal. It's a throw, and it's Martinez on target for a touchdown, Kansas State, and Malik Knowles. Stunned silence in Norman.
6'3" on 5'11". Just get that big frame inside and show your number to the QB. This is just blocking out. Oklahoma sells out. Here comes Broyles. Here comes Stutzman. Here comes everybody. Actually saw Coe, the D lineman, drop off. They brought the house. Poise personified for Adrian Martinez to begin this game.
Chris Kleiman said, I didn't want to delve into why Adrian Martinez was being so conservative. Didn't want to put a negative thought in his head. There's been 0 negative thought all first quarter. Kansas State a big way by 14. Fox College Football is sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years. Kansas State's already run 12 plays in Oklahoma territory. The Sooners have had the ball for 69 seconds. And Sooner fans might be saying, here we go again against that team in purple from Manhattan.
Well, if Sooner fan was watching these Wildcats a week ago, they didn't see any of this for 60 minutes against Tulane. I mean, they had no point of that game where they dictated, and right now, their offense is dictating and humming.
Bowman back to receive, and it is Billy Bowman from across the 10. He gets to the 20. Bowman sheds one and is funneled outside by Savage, with a marker coming in as well. A little testiness on the sideline. Sincere Mason with some sincere jawing at the Sooners.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 9. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Back to the touchdown, Ryan.
You know why Deuce was our Ram power player? Look at this guy. Watch him step up. You're going to see Broyles come. You're going to see Stutzman come. You're going to see Agwebu come. All of those guys come into all the gaps because they're sick and tired of Martinez running. But there's an advantage, man. Malcolm Gladwell, great book, David and Goliath. Use your what's perceived disadvantage of being 5'6" and use it to your advantage. Low man wins in pass protection. Low man wins running through the gaps. And Deuce Vaughn putting on a show in this first quarter.
We cited outliers in our meeting. I think that's the tipping point there on the whole catalog for you. First down for Oklahoma, and Gabriel, not a whole lot there. Eli Huggins tracked him down. It's a gain of 1.
Well, that's 2 plays from that big 6-year nose tackle. 24 years old, came back to school because he likes what's cooking in Manhattan, and that's 2 plays in 2 series. I think he broke his face mask.
Looks like it, and he's completely unfazed by the process. Another run, and not a whole lot there for Gray. And Udike Uzama on the defensive line. And suddenly 3rd down again for Oklahoma.
And look at him, he's talking to the umpire right now like, is something wrong with my face? Yeah, actually go get that face mask fixed. Go put a new tire. And you watch how quickly the equipment guys will take a look at that and try to figure out either A, new helmet, or B, screw on a new face mask.
Umpire Marlo Fitzgerald was like, that's not part of my job. 3rd down and 7 for Gabriel. He throws and it's incomplete for Theo Weiss, and Kansas State gets a stop.
Wow.
Just the 7th 3-and-out this year in 4 games for Oklahoma.
Well, here you go. Here's the taste of adversity for Dylan, for Brent Venables, for the 80,000 in here that they have not felt. Yeah, Kent State was 0-0. It's kind of ugly for 29 minutes, but then they stepped on the gas. They have not seen this kind of adversity yet.
We've been here twice now. This is as quiet as we've heard it. Turk to punt. He averaged 51+ last year. This one to the sideline, keeps it away from Brooks. Adrian Martinez early in the game. Whoa.
Yeah, he's running it, he's throwing it, he's 7 of 8. He's hitting these shots down the field right there on that opening drive. Here's a little QB run, little QB power down in the red zone. So effective when you can get +1, as they call it. When that QB can run it, and first touchdown reception of the year for Malik Knowles, you knew they were going to get that big body talent going as well. And when you're playing QB at a high level, you are a facilitator, getting everybody else involved, and then when your number's called, you eat. And that's exactly what he's done the first 10 minutes here.
He's leaning on the Oklahoma defense. Warner in motion. Martinez keeps it himself and gets sideswiped by White. Downstairs, Allison.
Oklahoma's DN coach Miguel Chavez trying to help his guys by really making them focus on their technique and fundamentals, talking about coming out of those hits, getting their hands inside. He said by focusing on that, focusing on your job, you can inspire the defense around you and help the backers, and we can start to stop the run. And then I loved it, guys. He said this. He said, what we do isn't easy, but it's beautiful.
That's life advice right there. 2nd down and 6. Martinez sees the pressure and heaves it down the field. Jalen Redmond was bearing down on him and breathing on him, and it's 3rd and 6.
Well, once again, Oklahoma's answer, not surprisingly, is start to bring some people. When a QB is as comfortable in dictating the way that Adrian is, defensive-minded guys typically bring an extra defender, that time a 5th rusher. You get into the face of Martinez, and now this crowd awakes.
Pressure here?
Discipline here.
They come with 5. Martinez dumps it off and too short, incomplete for Brooks. Trey Morrison was there on the coverage, and Oklahoma a much-needed stop.
And there's the attention to details, a little bit of man coverage, what you're going to expect to get in that bunch. Even if he catches it, that route is going to be short. A much better, to Allison's point, on the details and fundamentals on that possession defensively.
Marvin Mims back to receive the punt from Zentner. And it's a fair catch, and there's a flag down. Now this ball is loose and live. An Oklahoma player went diving for it. Brents is down there for Kansas State. I believe you're going to have interference with Mims. Echo Boydo was close to him first. Oklahoma got on it. That's Kanik, the linebacker, who ended up with a ball. See as they sort this out. The ball was over Mims's head.
Kick catching interference. Kicking team, number 25. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
That is a big call.
Yeah, and I think that's why Coach Kleiman is so upset. Echo Boydo is going to interfere. Their feet are almost going to hit. You can see 25 screaming in there, and he steps right on his toe. And that contact knocks Mims down, does not give him the ability to go catch the ball. Not a lot of hesitation there from the official.
With the contact, guaranteed you're going to get that call.
Yep. And those are the details that guy chomping on his gum knows. Right, those 15 yards, that real estate right now when you have this team reeling, can't do it.
Ball would have been at the 3. Instead, it's at the 30. And here is Marcus Major, who has 4 touchdowns this year to set up a second down. A big day in Lincoln last week. Gabriel loads up and throws near side. He has Weiss, and a first down for the Sooners.
There's a little sigh of relief as the chains get moving, and now you can continue, if you're Jeff Levy, to get that tempo going. Very soft cushion. Dillon Gabriel also may not be the biggest guy, but got tremendous field awareness, and he reads that cushion well.
Very familiar with Levy's system. He played in it at UCF. Gabriel to throw again. He's got Weiss again. All kinds of running room in clean air for a touchdown. Those new lights got to work out because Weiss came all the way across the field for a Sooner score of 56 yards. Now the crowd's having fun. Zach Schmidt's extra point is good. Doesn't look like 14's going to win it.
No, and Coach Kleiman knew this. This is just a deep over. You got post routes to the field, and it attracts all the eyes. You're dropping 8 into coverage here. But unfortunately, 2 run with that post route. It leaves a void. And as I said, if there's cushion, if there is green grass, Dillon Gabriel is going to throw a nice, tight spiral, a soft catchable ball. And Theo Weiss, in that case, is going to do the rest. K-State plays a lot of people in their secondary. Right, they play a lot of personnel in a bunch of different spots. That was a little different group on the back end there coverage-wise, and just did not communicate that route. And the arms crossed right there, and the gun being chewed that was too easy. We have got to be able to pass that route off. That's not overly complicated. The mental error that Oklahoma takes advantage of.
That is the first scoring play. Fewer than 5 plays Kansas State has allowed this year. First scoring drive of that type, and this will set Kansas State up at the 25-yard line. Yeah, this Kansas State team has typically forced teams, and it hasn't been that tough of a schedule, though they lost to Tulane last week. First touchdown drive of 4 or fewer all year for Chris Kleiman's team.
Well, to Brent Venables' point about Chris and this program that Bill Snyder built, you got to go take the game from them. I mean, that stat right there is, hey, man, you may score on us, but you got to earn it. Right? We don't just give it. We don't bust coverages. We don't give you the football. You got to go take it from this team. A rare mental error there, and Brent's crew able to take advantage.
Is that a signal to smile? Vaughn is ripped backward. Man, Isaiah Coe.
No, that was a signal to grab whatever you can of Deuce Vaughn, as 94 does right there through penetration. Stutzman was there to clean it up as well. A little different energy in the building.
Like he was playing tetherball with him. Martinez loads up, down this side, into traffic, and it's batted away incomplete. Bowman had a read on it, and Knowles' contact pried it away, third down.
That's a terrific play by the 5th-year senior. Malik Knowles, he saves an interception. He can see this ball is woefully inside. The fans don't like it. I think that's a bang-bang play.
Perfect timing, right?
That is one heads-up play from a receiver, and a QB's best friend on the other end as Bowman's about ready to pick it.
Here's that wall of sound in Norman. Play clock got down to zeros, and they're going to blow it dead. Jalen Redmond met Martinez, but a delay of game forthcoming. You see the frustration from his head coach.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, part of that delay is because QB O-line have to try to identify. Right? Because Oklahoma started to open up the playbook in these 3rd downs. This has been a disastrous situation. I would expect something conservative here because Oklahoma is so hard to figure out in this down and distance.
Martinez looked upfield. Now he runs, and he gets knocked down after a medium gain by Key Lawrence, the safety, and it is 4th down for the Wildcats.
You know, I like that right there. I like that little conversation with Ben Sinner.
What?
Just communication. Don't panic. Just tell your guys around you what you want right there. That's experience. It's 40-some starts. Pretty good leadership.
Oh, Zentner got hit after he delivered the ball. There is no marker down. It was after he punted the ball, and Mims a fair catch. Zentner wants the flag. He's not getting it. It's well after the punt. So look, we told you about Kansas State and its success against Oklahoma recently. Since 2012, nobody has beaten Oklahoma more than the Wildcats.
You got to earn it. It's a team that doesn't quit. It's a team that loves the underdog nature of this matchup and of this game.
Fake the double reverse, and now Farouk on the run for a gain of about 4. It'll be 2nd down.
More of that tempo immediately, just trying to, and I think that tempo affected some of that mental breakdown and communication on that last drive.
Kansas State went backward. Gray going forward for a 1st down. He's knocked down by Brents, the cornerback.
It's number 9, Braden Willis, leading the way, the unsung glue guy. Corner's going to have to make tackles tonight. Brent's a good one. Number 9 right here. Man, is he a good one for these Sooners.
He threw a touchdown last week against Nebraska, and here it goes his way at the 45. On that touchdown last week, by the way, Braden Willis, he threw a terrible ball evidently in camp.
Oh, okay.
In camp. He threw a great one last week, Brian. I'm going to give him his trophy. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But they kept it in the playbook because he's a high school quarterback, and so they figured he would knock it down, and he did.
And they love him.
See, that was kind in the end. 2nd down, throw, batted away, and incomplete. That is Brents on the coverage of Mims, and it's 3rd down.
And Julius Brents, you're going to be in these moments a lot tonight. A ton of moment of truth because you're going to be in one-on-ones. And that's a ball that Mims usually goes up and gets. Back to that jersey's being tugged just a little bit. But 6'4", long arms, a physical presence. Covering a one-on-one will be key tonight for these Wildcats.
Boydo now at the bottom against Mims. Gabriel looks that direction. He wants Mims again, and it's incomplete. He was throwing either for Stoops or Mims. It was Stoops, and it's 4th down.
Oh, and that is one you don't see much. This is such a beautiful route from Drake Stoops. A little slant and go, right? 3rd down, can run slant. Oh my goodness, does he get Kobe Savage? And as a QB, Dylan, all you've got to do right there is just put that familiar air. Drake knows it. That was 6. That is not a point where you need to be fine, that you need to put it on him. Just put some air on the ball. Drake's going to run that down for a touchdown.
Saw the way he ran through it, the frustration for Stoops. At the end of the 1st quarter, it is Brooks on the fair catch, and he receives it at the 4.
That's the end of the 1st quarter.
Wild 1st quarter in Norman. Upon nightfall in Oklahoma, the Wildcats have a 7-point lead. Welcome back to Fox College Football, sponsored by Ram Trucks, built to serve. Bunch of luminaries here for the dedication of the statue of the Selman brothers tonight. Barry Switzer, whose team's finished 3 times #1 in the country when he was coaching here. Keith Jackson, the great tight end from the 1980s, among so many others here tonight. Oklahoma with the miss from Gabriel to Stoops. Kansas State pinned all the way back around the 5 after the fair catch. They turn to Deuce Vaughn, but first whistles to open the second quarter.
False start. Offense number 85. Half the distance to the goal. Still first down.
Just what you want to get closer to that crimson section behind you.
That's Cade Warner. He was coming down to block the safety, right? Just to try to get a hat on a hat. Did a good job of it on the opening drives for Deuce Vaughn and Adrian Martinez. Just an early start there.
To Vaughn, little hesitation. He's closed off by Jaden Davis. Lawrence helped out, and it's second down.
See a little different disposition of these Sooner defenders, don't you?
Angrier.
Yes. Instead of just receiving the contact and being on the end of that QB run game and those K-State linemen, they are the ones delivering the blow.
Martinez from the end zone has Vaughn, and Deuce Vaughn gets them out of the shadow of that goalpost into Davis again, and it's third down.
It's a good thing it's 3rd and 6, because 3rd and 7 plus, 1 for 19 on the season for Kansas State.
Third and 6. Here comes Davis. Martinez signaling and throwing down the field for Warner, who had it on his mitts, but couldn't finish the catch with White next to him. Wow.
That is a corner blitz that's coming at you, and you're going to see it, and Adrian feels it, and now here's the difference. A week ago, he just threw this away. A week ago, he didn't make this play. He didn't throw it down the field and give his guys an opportunity, and that is one. Difficult catch? Absolutely. Is the cheetah right in the grill of Cade Warner? Yes, Deshaun White was, but that's a good sign of giving your guys an opportunity down the field aggressively.
3 catchable passes not brought in by Kansas State so far. Marvin Mims, a fair catch, and that's a good punt by Center. Of 54 yards. Allison talked about it earlier, the ties of Brent Venables to Kansas State. From right in the middle of the state, Salina, Kansas, 1989, Salina South High School. We found his yearbook. He's a linebacker at Kansas State after a transfer from Garden City Community College. He was a grad assistant that second year, big job. He was the punt return guy. He built the whole punt coverage situation. Linebacker coach, defensive running game coordinator, and he talked so fondly of his time with Bill Snyder and how fatherly, essentially, adding a word of our own, paraphrasing how fatherly Bill Snyder was to him.
And details, details, details.
The toss here is major, and the detail I love the most was Bill Snyder walking around practice with a dictaphone and essentially creating his plan for his coaches the next day.
That's right.
He'd walk in with page after page of his own notes that he verbalized into that dictaphone.
That's right. And actually compared it to Dabo Swinney in that way, that both those two like-minded in that way.
Major on the run. It'll be third down and a couple.
Interesting area of the field here. An opportunity where you in this down and distance can get man-to-man if you want to be aggressive. Especially with that guy, such a home run hitter, Marvin Mims.
On 3rd and 3, it's a run for Major, and it takes Green to spike him down right in midfield.
Or you got 5-on-5 in the box, and you just say, nope, we're going to get this conversion, and we're going to keep this drive in this tempo going.
Savage was up at the line. Gabriel, a deep ball right on the money for Mims.
Oh my, Omar Daniels, you are on an island, and this is the anatomy of a deep ball. That's what was so shocking about that miss to Drake Stoops, because when receivers are leaving those defenders, Dylan Gabriel, man, he puts that kind of air, that kind of arc, that kind of spiral right on the 1-7.
You mentioned Jeff Blake during the week for a comparison to that deep ball.
Just touch, man. Just get it up and get that point down and give your receivers who run by people an opportunity to finish for you.
Two scoring drives, a total of 2 minutes for Oklahoma, and downstairs, Allison Williams.
You never know how far you can throw it unless you air it out from time to time. That's what Dylan Gabriel told me about throwing the deep ball. It's something he is always focused on having in his skill set, and it's about consistent repetition for him. From a young age, he's been playing ball year in and year out. He's never had any extended time off, so he's always been able to keep his timing and his touch on that deep ball. And he said the key, guys, is to make sure you leave it with plenty of air for those receivers to adjust.
Oh, there was a lot of air on that puppy he just threw to Mims. Knowles on the return for Kansas State, and Malik Knowles, who has 3 career kickoff returns for a touchdown, breaks a tackle into Sooner territory.
Wow. I call him the college equivalent of Cordero Patterson. Remember Cordero at Tennessee and in the NFL? Just did this, same size, totally just difference makers. You don't normally see 6'3", 200-pound returners, but he's taken 4 of these to the house. He leaves Oklahoma reaching for air, and my goodness gracious, after all that air on that touchdown that Gabriel put on that touchdown pass, sucked a little air out of here, energy out of here with a huge kickoff return.
Big play by Schmidt there, the kicker, to get a piece of him and slow him down. Short field for Kansas State. Deuce Vaughn running horizontally, and he runs into White and Graham and Guebu as well. No gain. Last 3 drives for K-State, negative yards.
Well, backed up on the previous one makes it so difficult. We saw Oklahoma start to get more aggressive, bringing 5, bringing 6. Favorable field position here if you want to be aggressive. This is usually the area of the field between the 40s. Just like Gabriel, you could take a shot.
They'll move the tight ends, Wheeler and Sinnott. This is Vaughn picking his way. Deuce Vaughn, man, just drops the shoulder and drives hard like a tank.
And he just hides so patiently. That time behind the all-conference member, Cooper Beebe, the left guard, wraps around, and he has such an ability. Look at him. I mean, he hides behind those guys, and defenders can't see him. That is why you got to run blitz. That's why you got to send people at him, because if you're sitting there watching, you're not finding him, and he's running through you.
Ted Roof said that in our meeting. You should lose him sometimes. He wiggles behind guys, and here he comes. 3rd and 2. It's Vaughn again, sneaking through for a first down to the 25.
And that was a lesson that Ted Roof also said, that Danny Stutzman, the middle linebacker, didn't follow. You cannot take this guy head on. You can't do it. In the gap, 28 linebackers there to make a tackle. He doesn't. Royals has to finish on the back end of it.
Deuce Vaughn again in space. He was a soccer player growing up and learned that 1v1 stuff in the soccer game. There's a lot less contact. The last play would have been a yellow card. But it's 2nd down and 9 after a gain of 1.
I love the coaching points from a veteran D coordinator when tackling Deuce Vaughn. You can't look him in the eye. You can't. Or he's going to do what he just did on that previous play, make you look silly. You got to make him go one way. And then you got to leverage and tackle him with the hip. And what a response here from K-State.
He comes off. DJ Giddens, the freshman, is on. He's going to block for Martinez. And Martinez to the outside. Gillum, the center, got over there to create a lane, and it's 3rd down.
He sure did. The former walk-on did a beautiful job coming out, kicking out. ram the corner. This offensive line heard some messaging this week, I'm sure, as well. Right, with Deuce Vaughn, Adrian Martinez, the weaponry they have, it starts with the guys up front setting the tone. And on those 2 successful drives, they certainly have, and they are right now.
Martinez faked a quick pitch and now tries to rumble forward into Stutzman, and he does have the first down. That's a tough run from Martinez.
And that's another design, this time out of empty. So you take some defenders out of there, but it's the same power concept. You're going to pull the guard around, and look at the buddy.
That's Panzer.
Come on, I got you. I'll carry you to that first down.
From the 14, long throw, Martinez to Brooks, who got his way around Bowman. Second down for Kansas State. Man, this tape looks totally different than Adrian Martinez last week, doesn't it?
He was averaging 115 passing yards a game. Coming into this game and about 50 on the ground. I mean, he just played not to lose. Tonight, he's playing fearless.
We know he's a tough guy. He played with a broken jaw last year. Vaughn back in on 2nd and 8. Martinez felt downs. Martinez on the run, and he slides about a yard short. Aguebu wrapped him up. 3rd down and 1.
Almost an in-between slide, right? He didn't know whether or not to go head first. Didn't necessarily go totally feet first. It was almost kind of a side slide here. Because of that, sets up a favorable 3rd and short. It's a big QB run. I mean, that's what they have done here.
It is on a sneak. Did he have the leg drive? It looks like he's short. This is 4th down by about half a yard. Now what?
Well, that is a long distance because that was a positive play. He felt the push of the line, fell forward. That was really like almost 2 yards, and now puts it in a much closer situation.
Chris Kleiman said measure it, measure it, measure it, and he's not going to get that measurement.
He may have to take a timeout here. You hate to do that and burn 2 of them and a tie game, but I think that's the right call to get everybody on the same page.
Said you won't measure that one. Why won't you measure it? Then he stopped himself to call a timeout. Then he wore him out again.
You're a good lip reader.
It's essential to watch sporting events. Tie ball game. 4th and half a yard for Kansas State when we come back.
Want to stay focused on the action? Just tell Siri, turn on Do Not Disturb.
4th down and 1 for Kansas State. What goes into this decision?
Well, you got to go. You didn't come here, as Chris Kleiman told us this week, thinking you're going to win this game scoring 20 points. I like the aggressiveness. And speaking of getting rid of scar tissue, 3 4th and 1s a week ago. 4th and 1, 4th and 1, 4th and 2 you didn't get. I like this call.
If you're going to ask your quarterback to be aggressive, your play calling has to be too. Here's Martinez, his 12th run of the game as a 1st down plunge.
Look at those big bodies. Look at your guard and center, Panzer, BB, Gillum. Look at these 3 right in the middle. You've got to win here. You have to create movement so the QB can feel it. And as a quarterback, that is a learned trait, a learned experience. You feel, kind of like blocking out basketball, you feel where you can nudge yourself in. If those guys up front do their job, that's gold star effort.
40-plus games at Nebraska will give you that feel for Martinez. 1st down and goal, it's another run, and he cartwheels in, touchdown.
Adrian Martinez for the 3-yard Kansas State.
That is a hand plant. Watch the strength and balance of Adrian Martinez right here. Through contact to put that left hand on the ground and go tumble in. That's a running back playing quarterback tonight. And a tremendous coaching adjustment this week to ignite his abilities.
You said during the week to me that playing on the road might help him.
No question about it. It just takes some of the pressure off. You're the 2-touchdown underdog. You're the one everyone's talking bad about. You're the one the head coach is even asking you to let it rip. So you get to come into this place and quiet him. No better feeling for a quarterback.
Saw the half smile crack across his face.
But that's about it. That poised face is what we've seen from warm-ups all the way through here, Jason. The determination.
Tennant for the extra point, and that's good. Kansas State completely undaunted here in Norman. Once again, a quarterback's confidence skyrocketing in front of us here in Oklahoma.
Coming up on the State Farm halftime, Arkansas battles Texas A&M at Jerry World. Texas and Texas Tech needed overtime in Lubbock, and third-ranked Ohio State opens up Big Ten play against Wisconsin. We'll have it all for you at the half. Right now, Jason and Brock, back to you.
Mike, thank you. I'm sure highlights of that Oregon-Washington State game that finished just before our game kicked off.
Did it finish?
Just finished, actually. About 8 to go in the second quarter here. Kansas State back on the board with a touchdown from Martinez, and in close quarters downstairs, Allison Williams.
Yeah, Jason, and I know you guys can hear how it gets a little quieter here from a volume perspective after Kansas State scores, but the thing that it really does that you notice on the sidelines is it kind of quiets down the fans that are directly behind the K-State bench. I mean, they're an arm's length away, and they're letting these guys hear it all game. So when they score and they can get up, it kind of gives these guys a break from the chirping, because there's a lot of direct interaction right there on these sidelines. It's about as tight as you'll find in college football down here.
Look, it's very loud. Those two people we just saw are very loud. They snuck a couple K-State fans behind the bench, which is nice to see for those guys. Here's Farouk. He got around Boydo and still lost a half yard.
It's a big possession here. Both teams throwing some haymakers. Both teams done some things in special teams, explosive plays. This is a drive. If you're Dylan Gabriel, you got to get that first down. That's been the difference with their tempo.
It is Major to the left, and Major hit by Smith and out of bounds. It's third down. Dylan Gabriel came in 7 touchdowns, no picks. He's got 2 touchdowns and no picks tonight. So good with the football, so good in that mesh.
And he's looking at the sidelines right now, and he's looking at this. He's looking at those numbers as the sidelines is. What kind of coverage you're getting here. It looks to be man-to-man. They're getting that tight bunch. Now they go to zone.
Willis, and it's Mims, and it's Mims breaking a tackle. Mims off a block from Farouk into Kansas State territory.
And that is just a flat-out mismatch. That's going to be Mims on the little slant route here on a linebacker, a backup Purnell in the game. And you're just not going to win in space against number 17. I don't know if anybody one-on-one in this conference can cover him in space, but certainly not a backup linebacker.
A former safety, but he was caught flat-footed. And it's first down for Oklahoma. Gabriel down the sideline. Let it rip, and Farouk undercut inside the 25 by Boydo.
Once again, you're just in space picking on linebackers. It's what this scheme likes to do. And that time, Austin Moore is trying to come up into the flat. The wheel goes right behind him, as does that whistling spiral.
Major squeezes through. He's inside the 20. And Oklahoma with 4 and change to go on a gain of 5.
And this is the response you wanted. All right, this is called earning it. Not just one big home run, one big shot, but you got to take what they give you and take advantage of the matchups you're creating.
Brent Venables says he likes strain. He likes to have to push. He likes scars sometimes. And Oklahoma has needed to battle here in the first half. Gabriel to the sideline. He's got Mims, who went crashing down. Nicely done by Savage. A big hitter that Joe Klanderman loves, their defensive coordinator.
Well, these safeties will come up and hit you. And that's part of the reason they went to this scheme. Easier to find guys at that third level that'll come down and finish and hit.
3rd and 2. It is Gray through the car wash for a yard. Jalen Pickle crashed into him, and it's 4th down and 1.
No question what you're going to do here.
Gabriel to the line. Willis moved. That's a false start on the senior tight end.
False start. Offense number 9. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Yeah, it was Willis. It was obvious, but Willis flinches because big right tackle Wanye Morris actually flinches first. You see that? He's playing off that reaction. He knows he's got to come down and block. Called it on number 9. Both he and Wanye trying to get started early.
So instead of going for it and trying to tie the game, it will be Schmidt from 36 yards away. An uneven day for college football kickers so far. And we've got a marker coming in. And Smiles on the Kansas State sideline.
Offense number 71. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
It's the other tackle, Anton Harrison.
He flips over in field goal block to the right side of it. Self-inflicted errors, the little things that this team on the other side beats you because of. That's what he's going to write on his notes right there.
.41 yards from the hash mark for Schmidt. And this field goal is good. You get half the light display for the field goal than you got for the touchdown, but they still want to use them. It has been a rather crazy train so far in the first half here in Norman, 21-17. Fox College Football is sponsored by Geico. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. And by Cadillac. Be iconic. The Selman brothers from Eufaula, Oklahoma. Tremendous family. One of the first families of Oklahoma football, came essentially from nothing as you read about their story and became just this juggernaut family. All-Americans, all 3 of them getting their statue here in Norman.
That is incredible. All-American, 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 one family. Building such a foundation, and what an honor to have all 3 of them represented with those statues.
Oklahoma does history just about as well as anybody around the country. Statues and posters and everything that goes along with it. Next week, start Saturday strong with Big Noon Saturday on Fox off in Iowa City. 4th-ranked Michigan against the Iowa Hawkeyes. It all starts with Big Noon kickoff live from there in Iowa City, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And then the Michigan Wolverines on the road. They've had trouble there night side before. Can they do it during the day after they ran into a little bit of a Maryland buzzsaw for a while today?
No question about it. Look at that focus on the rush game. 25 between the 2 best players, and Adrian, 13 carries in the first half.
Martinez rolling to the right, throwing across the way, and he's got Brooks, who breaks a tackle and skates out of bounds. It's a gain of 19.
I love that call. Colin Klein is in the same rhythm up in the booth as his quarterback is here. Been a lot of early run game. You're expecting it. You see the commitment there, and then just get out on the other side. Right? Just get your quarterback going. Get him comfortable. He had such a struggle on those throws, 10+ down the field. Different story tonight.
Deuce Vaughn skittering outside. Man, hard cut. He got pile driven down eventually by Lawrence, but man, Woody Washington got left in his dust.
I mean, I know you don't want to tackle him head up. How do you get a shot on this guy? He is a 5'5" gyro ball. Goodbye.
Don't you see the soccer, though, in it?
You do.
In the 1v1 there?
No question about it. You can imagine a ball right on his foot.
Martinez climbing the pocket, feels the pressure from behind. It was White. Martinez got a block from Warner and finds his way out of bounds. Stutzman got in there, but didn't really have a chance at him, and it's 2nd down.
And I know this sounds very redundant, but these were the plays you were not seeing through the first 3 weeks. They were in practice. Chris Kleiman said, hey, listen, we saw it all August. Adrian can go, he can run, he can make plays. So to finally let the horse out of the stable tonight, been awesome.
That is on target for a first down to Knowles. I love watching Deuce Vaughn getting ready to pass block, by the way. He is looking for somebody to connect with.
To hunt up. Played with some amazing ones. Edgerrin James was that way. Any Miami Hurricane, Clinton Portis, they love to run.
Really?
But they love even more to do exactly what you just said. Hunt up those blitzers. Oh, you think you're going to come lay out our quarterback? I'm going to sneak behind the guard or tackle, and then I'm going to deliver the blow. You're right. That time, even the linebacker that was coming said, nah, I'm good.
Just an exceptional talent who stayed at K-State to build something here. Martinez had Downs coming after him, and it's incomplete. Second down. Downstairs, Allison.
I'm with you guys. Vaughn is so fun to watch in pass protection. And when I talked to Adrian Martinez about his running back during the week, that was one of the first things he brought up. He said he takes so much pride as a blocker, and you watch him at field level, and you can see he is so undersized. I mean, he's given up 50, 60 pounds to these linebackers, and he still meets them head on. It's just awesome to watch.
Low man wins, and he is low to the ground.
The C loves it. Second down. On the run, right up the zipper, taking contact and whirling for a first down.
Well, this is what you were not seeing in the first 3 weeks. I mean, watch him. He hides behind everybody, but you were not seeing these Oklahoma defenders driven backwards. #1 in the country in tackles for loss, and they are the ones going the other way.
After 22, he's crushed by Bowman, and it's second down coming up.
Oh my gosh, he just hides once again. It's hide and seek.
It is.
I hate to play that guy in hide and seek too. Can't find him. He just hid right behind Cooper Beebe. He's done this a half dozen times. And do you know how much patience and arrogance athletically it takes to do that with bodies flying all around you? Incredible.
He has said before he can feel defenders coming upon him. He just senses where they are. It is Vaughn, and that was too hot to handle. And Martinez knows it.
Yep. You got to come after him here, don't you, Brent Venables? This crowd, 3rd and 4. Don't you have to be aggressive? The more aggressive you've been, typically the better for this defense.
Isn't that what they're built on? A lot of third down packages. They feed Vaughn, and Deuce Vaughn has just a couple of yards. It'll be 4th down, and it looks like Kansas State, who will give up the ball after the half, will take the 3. Will they? They're letting the clock run. So that's my piece of evidence. You still skeptical?
No, but that was a pretty conservative call, to be honest with you.
Yep. Especially considering what Kleiman told us about not winning here 20-17, 20-14.
Kansas State has called their final timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
And Oklahoma takes that as a win. Let's take a look at our Pacific Life game summary, sponsored by Pacific Life, creating financial security for more than 150 years.
Adrian Martinez was averaging 115 passing yards a game. The rushing we've documented, I think, fairly well throughout. Time of possession, not a surprise. Oklahoma has not had the ball much this season. As a matter, they've made so many big plays. What's not in there, some of the hidden yards in the special teams phase, both punting for Oklahoma and kickoff returning, obviously, with Knowles.
Flipped the field that last time. Coming up at the half, stay tuned for Mike Hill, Emmanuel Acho, Chris Peterson in the State Farm halftime show. There you see the stories they'll be covering. And Kansas State's upset bid is on the docket as well. Tennant from 23. And Kansas State has a 7-point lead on the road in Norman at halftime. Tell you what, this series has been tough for the Sooners in a big way. To the studio and Mike Hill and the guys. State Farm halftime report.